we go. Welcome back to All 32. This is your host Jamal. It ain't no much that much plugging this week. As we got that out the way the first show. So before we go ahead and get it back into it, always be sure to follow the Hogs out on Twitter. You can also again follow me at @amall underscore AYYMALL. And one of our hosts who happens to have social media, my boy Ryan. You can follow him at RyReed07.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ryan, how you feeling tonight, bro? Hey, is you first and foremost, are you all healed up after the weekend, man? You good to go?
Man, let me tell you something. First and foremost, man, I had a great weekend with my boys. Had to come on out for the birthday celebration, but I think I'm all the way 100%. I felt like it took about 2 days, but I think I'm back where I need to be.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because you texted.
Feeling great.
You texted us earlier talking about something. You was still messed up from Saturday, man, and it's Monday.
Hey, man, I burped this morning. I can still taste Hennessy, man.
Hey, well, look, bro, I'm pretty sure one more night of sleep will do you justice, bro. When you wake up in the morning, you be all Gucci, bro.
Yes, I did.
Hey, Montel, bro, the third part of the show, man. How you feeling tonight, man?
Not feeling too well. Well, man, I just started feeling a little bit better. We just tied the game up 68-68.
I'm about to say.
But at the same time, I'm on the same token as y'all, man. I was hurt from the other night. I probably just recovered myself today. So,
I'm about to say,
you know me, just ready to drop some knowledge.
Drop knowledge on them folk, huh? Well, I mean, for me personally, bro, I'm you know what I'm saying, just because nobody asked me, I'm doing all right.
Man.
I'm doing all right, bro.
Hey, Ball, how you doing, man? You was out with us this weekend. How's it going?
I'm about to say, you know, I'm glad you asked, bro, because Saturday night was a live ass night, and I'm just glad I was able to celebrate for your bro birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Man. And then shout out Nick, man. Shout out Roseball, man. And thank y'all for letting us have a good time.
Definitely, and then obviously the nose man, Nostradamus, Nicholas Sneed. I'm so glad we had to celebrate my man birthday too, bro. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying, I came out there the next day. You know what I'm saying, the flag game, almost scored the game winner. So you know I was out there cooking the next day. Ain't nothing with me, bro. I get up and go.
We heard it. That's true. That time you telling the truth. Last time you lying.
Yeah. Word around town was you maul somebody, Molly Paul.
Oh, these hands do work, bro. They always do, bro. They dangerous. They want to slight me, bro, and I tell them, bro, be careful. I tell them that on the field, man, and they don't want to listen to me. I let them know. Hey, I hear you, man. But today, bro, it's that quarterback talk, bro. That's all we got for the show, man. Three good topics, man. And we went to Twitter too for a couple of the posts. We're gonna get into them in the last two topics. But the first jump is something that we always talk about when it comes to football and anything, bro. So the first thing we had asked, and Montel brought it up, if you had to take any three quarterbacks to build a team with everything included, considered, I believe, injuries, age, all the other stuff. Montel, you could fill in if I missed the other ones because I only named two. But injury, age, all that type of stuff. Which three quarterbacks would you take to build a team with? Since Montel brought this topic up, I'll go ahead and let you get started, bro.
Yes, sir. Now, I basically just was saying, taking all things into consideration. You mentioned age, injury history, potential, ceiling, all of that. You just want to take
all that stuff.
So, my first quarterback actually has a little bit of injury history, but I just know what he's capable of. And he's still a young guy, 28 years old. And if I was starting the franchise today, I'm sure y'all know who I'm talking about.
I think I know.
Luck.
Oh, damn.
Andrew Luck. I'm taking A. Luck off the board first. That's my number one quarterback, just because I seen what he was able to do with bad teams. You got some quarterbacks who are depending on a good run game or depending on wide receivers or defense got to do well. I seen Andrew Luck make it to the playoffs consistently with bad defenses, mediocre weapons. Even today, terrible offensive line. My second quarterback was going to be the boy out in Oakland.
Okay.
Straight monster.
I like that one.
Straight terror, young guy. Only been in the league for
young
a couple years now. Yeah, I think he's been in the league for 2 or 3 years now, but each year he's shown progress. And he continues to get better. And last year he put on a show. Unfortunately, he ended up getting hurt, and he has a little bit of injury history just based off of last year. But that was a little bit of a fluky injury, and I think he's going to be able to bounce back. Last but not least, on my list is the boy Jameis Winston. Only been in the league for 2 years, and it was between him and Marcus Mariota. The only thing that put Winston over the top was the fact that he hasn't been hurt. Mariota, I know that's your boy, Ryan. I don't know if he's on your list. We're going to find out. But 2 years in the league.
Hey, I bet it's stack he probably is.
Yeah, two years in the league, and he's just been hurt both years. Winston done put up 4,000 yards back-to-back, and he's only 22, 23. So imagine what he's going to do when he hits 25 and gets into his prime. And I think they got some work to do to build that team as well. And as far as getting him a little bit of help, Doug Martin had a pretty decent year, Winston's rookie year, but after that he kind of fell off the map. Like I said, they just got a little bit of work to do to get some more pieces around him, but I think he is definitely the future of the NFL, in my opinion.
All right, so Jameis, Luck, and was there a particular order, or you?
That was the order. Well, number 1 was Luck.
Okay.
Number 2 was Carr, and number 3 was Winston.
Okay. All right, so Ryan, what you thinking, bro?
So typically when you feel like you've already have your franchise quarterback, or when you're looking for your franchise quarterback, you're just trying to make sure you have the certain necessities around them, like a good wide receiving core, a good defense, a good running back to complement your quarterback. So I feel like when you have your franchise quarterback, that's what you're really looking for. And the three quarterbacks that I settled on, no particular order. I was going so back and forth with it, but one, of course, I'm gonna have to say Aaron Rodgers, right? Yeah. Of course, he's getting older in age, but I feel like he's still doing it, and I feel like he can still do it for the next five or so years. So I would definitely go with him. And number 2, going with Montel. I'm gonna go with Derek Carr down in Oakland.
Yeah, young Dirk.
Yeah, I feel like Derek Carr is doing if you ask me, just as talented as any of these top quarterbacks in the league, and he's definitely showing it. Number 3 may come as a surprise the most, but I'm gonna say Matthew Stafford.
Oh, damn! I would have lost the stack.
Say it again.
I said, damn! I would have lost the stack.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus is going to be my third man, but I try to do my best and not sound biased because you know how high I am on my quarterback. But I feel like Matthew Stafford, man, is just an amazing talented quarterback, man. He's shown what he could do in the fourth quarter, bring his team back, and like I said, just to piggyback on what I was saying at the beginning of my topic, I was just saying, like, if you put those certain pieces around, like with the wide receiver core and a good defense, I mean, of course, a lot of quarterbacks in the league don't have all those 3 things, but I feel like you give him that, and you can count yourself in deep playoff runs most of any season. But I'm very high on Matthew Stafford, and 3B, I'm gonna have to go Marcus Mariota if that counts.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna give you that because I think I got an honorable mention too. So let me go ahead and start out with my number 1. Then I think first and foremost, Ryan, you were spot on with your Aaron Rodgers assessment. He should always be on anybody's top 3 list. Yeah. So with that being said, he's my number 1. That's why I'm putting as my number 1. And I guess technically, as my number 2, you could do like 1A and 1B with me. Number 1B, I guess, is Tom Brady. First off, like I said, out of injury history, I know he's 39 years old. We talked about him, I think, on the last show, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been a dry run. I can't remember. But we was talking about the fact that he was 39 years old. He said he could play about 5-6 more years. But I mean, his injury history proves it. Even though he's getting older, he's only had one significant injury. So with that being said, you get him a decent line, and he's been able to take care of his offenses for majority of his career. He's after the first couple years in the league. So I think he can control any offense and manage it well. So that'll be my 1B. And then obviously number 3. Is pretty much almost similar to y'all. We both got this guy on our list as well as Derek Carr. When it comes to Derek, young Dirk, I think that he's the type of guy. First of all, he reminds me of Brett Favre a lot. I don't know. I don't know if.
Definitely.
All right, so yeah,
I agree.
I'm not tripping there. So yeah, he's the type of guy who's a gamer, man, and he make plays happen. And I think that's what I like out of a young quarterback. Is first off, he went 4-12, I think, his first year, and then went 7-9, and then went 11 and I think he won 11 games before getting hurt, or maybe won 10 games, I believe. I can't remember, but he took that Raiders team with a terrible defense, and he pretty much, not he by himself, but that offense that he led carried that team. Wasn't many games the defense won for them. It was mainly the offense. And I remember the Tampa Bay game where he put up like 5 or 6 touchdowns, 500 yards. Pretty much shattered the confidence of that defense by himself. So yeah, it's just a lot of things that Derek brings to the table that I really appreciate out of a young quarterback. And so with that being said, I give my honorable mention to this guy that nobody really pays attention to, and I think that his proper due needs to be given, and that's this guy out of Washington, Kirk Cousins, man. I don't think a lot of people.
Woo!
Hey. Oh my God!
Turn up the heat, ball. Turn it up.
Hey, look, bro. I couldn't even say that with a straight face, man. Look, let me stop. Okay. Let me stop.
I'm a little bit surprised at some of y'all picks, though, man. If you starting a franchise today, you gonna take a 39-year-old Tom Brady?
Oh hell yeah, bro. If I take a 39-year-old Tom Brady, bro, and he gives me a 5-6 year window where he guarantees he can still play, I'm making sure that team is right ASAP. I get about 2-3 rings with him. I'm telling you that right now, bro.
That's what I was saying. Like if I had those tools around and I could just pick a quarterback, oh yeah, I would go Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
39. I'm just a little surprised. I don't know, cause when I think of starting up a franchise, I need my quarterback. I need at least 10 years out of you. I need at least 10.
But look,
though, I do understand y'all view. Don't get me wrong. I understand exactly where y'all coming from, but.
Hey, but look though, Rodgers is what, I think 31 right now, or maybe 30, turning 31.
Like 33.
Nah, he's not that old.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I thought he was 33. I might be tripping.
I think Aaron Rodgers is 33 years.
All right, Montel. Oh yeah, one of y'all looked that John up, but I know he not 33. I know he about like 31, 32. But my point was, if he just hitting that 30 over the 30 threshold, I think you could get, like, quarterbacks could last till they like 37, 38. 39 nowadays. I think Josh McCown is 39, and Matt Hasselbeck played. Matt Hasselbeck played till he was like 40, 41, maybe something like that. He was 40 years old starting for the Colts last year when Andrew Luck got hurt. So
he played too long.
I mean, he played too long, but he got to win at 40, bro.
Yeah, Montel's right. He's 33.
He 33.
Yeah.
Time fly, man.
Damn, man.
I know it make me feel old, but
yeah,
that's why I was still surprised. But I definitely understand where y'all coming from, though, especially with Aaron Rodgers. He might be the most talented quarterback we may have ever seen play. Not saying he's the best, just most talent.
Hey,
be one of.
If he could give me 5 years too, then I'll put him as my honorable mention. I could slide him out. I'll probably put I'll put Derek Carr at 2, and I maybe put. I would say Matt. I would say Andrew, bro. But I guess I'll think outside the box right quick. Maybe go Carson Wentz.
I like that pick.
And that's not. I'm about to say I wasn't saying it to be like no troll. I was really saying that first to get your reaction, but I really do believe, like, because we're gonna get into that on the next topic.
Let's get to that.
Yeah, I'm about to say we're really gonna get that to the next topic, because I do think it's some traits that's worth discussing when it comes to Wentz. So I think I would build around him, honestly, and that's not even no troll shit. I wasn't even joking. So, like we said, we're going to go ahead and get to that next topic, man. We had a question, and I put this on Twitter. I'm going to pull that up right quick. But the question was, who would you take to start, obviously, again, to start your... Actually, no, it was just who was better, actually, in people's opinion.
Who do you think has the highest ceiling?
Yeah, who do you think has the highest ceiling, Dak Prescott or Carson Wentz? And I started a poll, over 120 people voted, and the percentages... It was real close, actually, but the percentages was 52% Prescott to 48% Wentz. And the thing that blew me is that I thought people was on my side with this, because for a good up until the poll closed, people was leaning Wentz over Prescott. So I was surprised to see that Prescott ended up taking it in terms of who people think the ceiling was better or higher. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with Ryan this time. But who do you think you'll go with between Prescott and Wentz?
Just to flat out go ahead and answer your question, then go ahead and support my points. I'm saying Carson Wentz has the higher ceiling, right? Last year, and the most inopportune times you've seen, well, not inopportune, but like you've seen Dak Prescott last year show, and the times you would think a rookie quarterback would show struggle or show, that he is that rookie quarterback, and he, it's going to take him time to get to that point where he shows that he's an elite quarterback. Man, he had games where he just shown over and over, maybe a couple games like both games against the Giants, but I mean, he just showed ice water in his veins. A lot of times you would just think, man, he gonna mess up right here. He gonna mess up the next play. But it just seemed like over and over he just kept making play after play after play.
Yep.
And I feel like that team around him in Dallas with that offensive line and being able to run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott and having a weapon on the outside like Dez Bryant. I mean, people can say, he has those necessary pieces around him and he has more time, more ways to be successful with those things around him. But to Carson Wentz's point, man, Carson Wentz has all the tools that I've seen a lot of the Eagles last season, and I saw him being able to make any throw and with less with sorry wide receivers like Nelson Aguilar.
I know Vince Thomas.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just who's the other one? Dorial Green Beckham dropping everything. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
They just have a team full of people who cannot catch, and I feel like once the GM addresses those issues with the wide receivers and finds those necessary pieces around them, I don't think their running game is that good either. I think Darren Sproles is their leading rusher, and that's never good when you got somebody like him leading your team in rushing. But no shade on Darren Sproles, he's a great player, but I just feel like you gotta have better production out of your running back position, and also I feel like they limited Carson Wentz so much, like they wouldn't open the playbook enough for him because he got a big arm and they should have let him show it more. I think most of his passes is going like 2-3 yards. And another trait I like about Carson Wentz, man, he just seems like that has that winning attitude, like that winning mentality, like that quarterback that's 3rd and 6 and he's scrambling, but it's a defender right there. He gonna try to run you over to get to that point because he want to make sure his team got a fresh set of downs. But I like that winning attitude that he shows and possesses, and I feel like the ceiling, if I had to pick one, which is it's not a big gap. I feel like
I definitely don't think it's a big gap either. Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, I would go with Carson.
All right, Montel, you up, bro?
I kind of feel like I owe it to Dallas fans to compliment one of their quarterbacks because the way I, did Romo last time we spoke. But I gotta go with Wentz, man. I gotta go with Wentz, but that's not really a knock on Prescott though.
Right.
I just think that, like you said, the ceiling for Wentz is higher. You got to look at what Dak Prescott walked into. Dak Prescott, and I got to throw this out there. I watched a lot of the Cowboys last year. Watched a lot of the Eagles. Dak Prescott had more good games than almost any quarterback that I know. He literally only had 3 bad games that I could count.
Yeah.
That's fair, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of these quarterbacks had some bad games, but like Ryan said, he always showed up. But part of the reason he always showed up is because it wasn't a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Like you mentioned, they got that run game. They got that offensive line. Granted, the defense wasn't that good, but offensively, and I hate saying this because it's not true, but there's some guys you could put back there that are playmakers, and they can make some of those plays behind that offensive line, just given the time that he was given. And if you see some of the passes he made, a lot of those were simple reads, one reads, or he would go through his progressions, but he would have so much time to do it because the offensive line was so good, and you had to respect that run game. So you dropping somebody down, you leaving a guy like Dez Bryant in single coverage, Cole Beasley, wide open middle of the field. So he was just put in the perfect situation. Another thing that I got to bring up is we know Carson Wentz came from North Dakota State. Dak Prescott came from Mississippi State, where he sent SEC defenses every single week. That's the closest thing to the NFL that you're going to get So I just think he was more prepared coming in for year one. I think later down the road, I like what Carson Wentz does, man. He is a straight baller, and as you mentioned, he had no weapons at receiver. And
Yep.
I think a lot of people just seeing the success that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys had, like the fans on the Twitter post, and they said, you know what, Dak's the better quarterback. But like I said, and like Ryan said, it's not a wide margin. I do think that the ceiling for Wentz is just higher, and he has better tools. There are things that Dak need to work on, but a lot was hidden in his game because of the fact that they had that run game. And like he's not a great passer down the field. He's not great at that passing down the field. But I'm not going to sit here and knock him for what he's not good at because he's great at a lot of things as well. But I just would take Wentz right now, and like I said, I think his ceiling is just a little bit higher.
Yeah, so obviously, like I said, I'll take Winston for a few reasons that y'all already said, but I guess I'll add on to them. First and foremost, somebody said on Twitter when we was doing this poll, uh, Carson Wentz. He just felt Carson Wentz wasn't even a good quarterback. He felt that Dak Prescott was better, and it wasn't even close. He also stated,
He must be a Dallas fan.
no, he's actually a Redskins fan, and he blows me sometimes. But the thing is that this man said, I quote him again. He said, if you were to switch teams, or no, not necessarily switch teams, but if you was to put Carson Wentz on Dallas, they would have 8 wins at most, or 9 wins at most. When
No,
they won 13 games this year, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, bro, you don't understand. Like the situation in Philadelphia is way different than the situation in Dallas. For main reasons is that first off, Dak was already he was on the team that was ready to win now. That was first and foremost. They was good to go. They needed a quarterback. Nobody knew what Dak was capable of going into the regular season. Obviously, they was expecting Tony Romo to come in and do what they did. And honestly, if Tony Romo came in, they would have probably won if he played a full season. They probably won the same amount of games as Dak. So nobody really knows how many games Dak would have won. But the bottom line is he did look good. But when you look at Carson Wentz, he has all the tools to be a professional quarterback, a top half of the league quarterback. Arguably can be top 10, maybe a couple years out of his career. Maybe more than a couple years out of his career. His first season, he played with a team who had a decent defense, a elite defense at home. When they played at home, they was very tough at home. But he played with a decent defense overall. He had an offensive line who was constantly injured and suspended. They had their guy Lane Johnson, I believe, who was out for like 10 or 11 weeks or something like that. They had injuries at offensive line. They had no receivers. Well, the receivers that they did have were just ineffective, and they dropped a lot of passes. We always know that. They had Zach Ertz. That was their best receiver. And then Trey Burton was a H-back for them, or a tight end, I believe, second string tight end. And then obviously you got the running game who was inconsistent. They ran the ball a lot, but they weren't that good as running backs. You had Darren Sproles, who was your leading rusher. So basically, he really didn't have that much help offensively. And they addressed that this offseason. The offensive line is coming back healthy. Obviously, you got Alshon Jeffrey on a 1 year to prove himself, and then you got Torrey Smith added to the receiving core as well. They still need some help, but at the same time, you've seen the tools that he had without these weapons. His yards didn't look that great. His statistics, his touchdown to interception ratio wasn't that great, but you've seen the things that he was doing as a quarterback. He knew he was very confident throwing the ball. And same with Dak Prescott, but at the same time, you just think that the way things were going for a person who won 7 games his first year, compared to a guy who had all the help in the world and won 13. Imagine a team this year where the Cowboys don't even have a defense to help. Like they're even worse defensively than they were last year. So you're going into a situation where you have potential to even the playing field. You're going to see who's better, and I think that Carson Wentz ceiling is much better, and a lot of people don't see that because of what the records were last year and how good of a rookie year that Dak had. Compare that to 2012, bro. Like RG3 had the same type rookie year, bro. It was just that great.
A good comparison. I feel like a lot of Dak Prescott's success overshadowed the type of player that Carson Wentz is and will be. And I feel like in this upcoming season, I feel like you're going to see a whole lot more of Carson Wentz than you saw last year, especially because of the additions that they have. Torrey Smith, like you said, Torrey Smith and Alshon Jeffrey. Hopefully they address a little more, address those whole offense a little more in the draft. But I definitely feel like you're going to see a whole lot of. He'll be able to exploit those talents that the three of us thinks that he has and will show.
Definitely, man. That's one of the things. Like, I said it already. I'll say it one more time. I just think that people like it's. I don't remember his exact stats, but I think he only threw 2 interceptions this year, and I'm talking about Dak Prescott. You didn't really see him in pressure situations. Like he was. I think if I can really think about it, I don't know how many comebacks they made this season. I don't know where the level of difficulty in game was so greater than compared to Eagles, where they were trailing a lot of games. They were down 21-0 against the Redskins at one point. They were getting blown out by almost everybody on the road. And that's not to excuse the quarterback, because the quarterback had a lot to do with it.
I'm sitting there trying to figure out how many games with Dallas playing behind, and I can't
exactly. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, there wasn't really many games where you can sit here and see where Dak was actually in trouble and where he needed to put the pressure on himself. Where the team needed to put the pressure on him to come through. It was a lot of times where even in game-winning situations, 2-minute situations, they were still riding the tail of Zeke Elliott. So look at the Pittsburgh game. Come on, bro. Like the game winner was a touchdown run. So it wasn't really much. We're not knocking Dak, and especially not me. I'm not knocking Dak, but these are questions you have to ask. Like, what situation did you have where you had to put, where Dak? You can compare Dak to Carson in late game situations or moments where they were trailing. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember Dak ever being down 17 plus, 14 plus, and coming back to win it. Especially not right now. So
yeah.
Montel, you had to add anything to it?
Man, the Wizards are killing me.
I knew that's what it was, bro. I was like, Montel got nothing to say right now because the Wizards.
I'm about to say, I'm glad. I'm glad I'm talking, bro, because I could tell he was quiet. I was like, it had to be a reason. I look at the John. They down 6, but I mean it's 8 minutes left, bro. So,
why are they playing down? We here to talk football. The draft on Thursday.
Draft on Thursday.
And I can't wait till Thursday.
Which y'all got two picks in the first round, right? Tighten up.
That's about to be my plug at the end. You already know.
All right, I ain't gonna ruin it for you, bro. I'll say that. I'll let you have that one. But shoot, we moving pretty fast, man.
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question before we go into the next segment. Ryan, who you think y'all take with that number 5 pick?
Marshawn Lattimore at Ohio State University.
Hey, you might as well get your first two.
And let me tell you something right now. Unless we trade that pick, that's what's happening.
Really?
What y'all got with y'all second first?
Honestly, that'll really be up for grabs, but hopefully it'll be a receiver because we lost Kendall Wright. And I'm
about to say I seen some John Ross mock drafts, bro.
Man, I'm not ready to sold on John Ross, man. I think he's a speed, and I think he'll stretch that defense and take the top off the defense and everything like that. But there's a lot of questions in my mind that I think need to be answered before I'm just sold on John Ross.
What, his frame and injury history?
That, and they were saying that he has a high drop radius too.
Oh shit, yep. They definitely been saying that.
Yeah, so I'm not ready to. Those aren't really two good things I want to hear.
Last question. No, it's a guy that I watch for my favorite team in college football, and he pops off the screen.
Andre Stewart?
No.
Who?
Reuben Foster.
Reuben Foster. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about receiver. I like in the mid 10, 15.
I hope he don't fall that far, man.
Nah,
I don't know.
Like, it's a lot of teams that need an inside linebacker, and it's not. I don't think it's one better than Reuben Foster. I mean, the closest one.
If you watch Allen, there's no way you talk about a guy who pop off the screen, bro.
Yeah, he leaping.
Number 10 hop off the screen into your living room.
he gonna let you know.
But see, the thing is, bro, I really don't know what truth it is to that diluted sample, man. People try to say it's nothing, like he just didn't pass it. I mean, not like it wasn't like he was doing any drugs or anything, but I really don't think I don't think he gonna fall like 15. Like maybe 10, like maybe 10 to 12, like what was Ryan was saying, but I don't think he's gonna fall that far. But the thing is though, just today Jabril Peppers got bagged for the same thing for a diluted sample at the combine, man. And somebody said something to me, and I'm not gonna sit here and take it for the Bible, for the gospel, but somebody was like, typically people try to and whoever's listening to this, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not no scientist. I don't know much about the drug testing, but they was like, sometimes people can dilute their own samples by I guess I don't want to mess this up on air, bro. But it's like they'll smoke before these combines, like within the time frame, where it get out your system, like within that month before the combine, and they'll try to dilute their own sample, like try to make the sample difficult to read. I don't remember exactly what the man said, because it was just literally like a few hours ago. I wish I could remember, but they'll mess up their own samples, and these are two top tier guys that's about to be drafted that had the same thing happen to them, bro. And people try to talk about something it's not that important, but look, bro, it's two people now. It's not just one. It ain't just no random thing. It's two top people having diluted samples.
Well, the diluted samples is tricky though, so it's like it's still considered a failed test. And from what I heard from Charlie Castle, he said typically when it's a diluted sample, it means that they were tampering with it.
Exactly. You're talking about the player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get at. Like they was messing with that sample because they probably smoked or something like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can be as innocent as you are, and in most cases, some people have been found innocent. But it's just the crazy thing about the world and NFL today. Like perception is everything, man. Like if you hear your name attached to a failed drug test, man, like it sucks because even if that's not even the case, it's just now you have the perception of being a person who takes drugs and fails drug tests. Like that's just what it is. Now you just got to do whatever you got to do to sell these teams on that. That's not me. That's not what the situation is. But it's just now it's just attached to your name, and you just got to show like if you draft me, I'll show you that this is not the case, and I'm coming to work every day without the drug problem.
All right, hey, that's fair, bro. Only thing I say, because we said this on the Hogstyle just Saturday, a couple of days ago, just when you look at Foster's, and now obviously Peppers, because this just came out today, it's just why. Well, first of all, let me ask y'all right quick. Obviously we rapping. We're gonna go ahead and get to the next subject right quick, in a minute. But would you guys? People said they still wouldn't hesitate to take Foster. And obviously Peppers is now to that list. Would you guys hesitate if you guys needed Foster or needed Peppers, either one? Would you guys hesitate to take them, or would you just it doesn't even matter to you the samples?
I wouldn't blink twice.
I definitely would, and I understand you gotta take into account character and things like that. But Reuben Foster talent, man, it outweighs anything, and he's not a guy that's been in like trouble, tons of time. So I'm taking my chances with him, and he's just way too good of a talent to pass up on. Like if he falls to 17, that would be a huge mistake. But if he fell to 17, I would be highly upset with the Redskins took somebody else. But I'm just saying that's for any team. That's for any team, no.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, look, bro, Randy Gregory was a hell of a talent. And the Dallas Cowboys still take a chance.
Maul, you took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
You still took a chance on that, man.
They still took Randy Gregory high. They were saying Randy Gregory wasn't supposed to get taken for a while. They still took him kind of early. Randy Gregory on most mock drafts that year he came out was like top 3 until he started smoking, starting failing them drug tests and things like that. But
yeah, that is rough. That's rough. I mean,
yeah, man. Yeah, that's why I say it's a tricky situation. I said I'd take him, but I hesitate. I'll do a little bit more homework on him. Like if it was a diluted sample, and Charlie Cashley said typically it's something from the doing of the players. Like what lengths would they go to hide, their drug habits, etc., something like that. So I'll do some homework, but
yeah, that's basically you got to do your homework because I don't know what Randy Gregory's past was either.
Oh no, he had it. They said he had a little checker pass.
Yeah, and he was failing tests like left and right. Like they knew he was smoking.
Right.
With Reuben Foster, he doesn't have a history of failing tests and smoking. It's just this one example, So
yeah, it's not even clear. So I got you. All right. Well, that's good, man. We go ahead and move on to the next one, bruh. So essentially, we had another poll. And Montel brought which one did I forgot who brought this one up? Yeah, so we talked this one for. Yeah, I was about to say. I think I brought it up. But either way, I brought this to the Twitter as well. So I asked when drafting the quarterback, Which quarterback would you prefer? The popular quarterback with the arm talent, but minimal big game experience, or would you take the big game quarterback who's played in plenty of them, but he as a quarterback he's inconsistent in terms of throwing the ball. And this is talking about taking through the draft. So, for example, you had your Tim Tebow's over the years. You had your Cam Newtons, your Deshaun Watsons, and then you had Blake Bortles. You had your Andrew Lucks, your who else am I thinking of? I guess Brock Osweiler. He wasn't drafted in the first round though, but these are guys with the big game experience, and then some who was purely drafted off arm talent. So Montel, since you discussed this one with me, I don't think Ryan was here for the first time. I'll let you go ahead first. So you get your words off, and then Ryan, you go ahead follow up.
I think it's a little bit ironic that we have an example of this in this upcoming draft. And you mentioned Deshaun Watson, who's a big game guy. And then you have a guy like Mitch Trubisky, who has all the tools but hasn't really played in many big games. He only has 1 year of starting experience. And if you ask me, I would be nervous about taking a guy like Mitch Trubisky, whereas though I would feel comfortable taking a guy like Watson. And I guess that is because I prefer a guy who has played in the big games and shown up in the big games, because that's really something you can't teach. You can coach up mechanics. You can coach up certain things. Maybe you can't teach arm talent, but you can coach him up in places that he struggles mechanically, and he can become a better. You can't teach heart. You can't teach that it factor. And you hear that a lot of times when it comes to football players. You just can't teach certain things. Some guys are just ballers, and we talked about Derek Carr earlier. He's just a baller. I mean, you can watch him play. Carson Wentz, same thing, just a baller. Dak Prescott, baller. And these guys have all played on that big stage at the college level, and they've shown up. You look at a guy like Jared Goff from last year, who had all the tools, and right now he's struggling. Granted, I'm not sure where his career will go, but you got a lot of examples of both, as you all mentioned. But me, I'm just taking the big game guy, because you can't teach guts. They got stuff that you can't really teach. And I've seen so many guys. Jamarcus Russell just overvalue that. Oh, he has a great arm, or he has all this, he has all that, and they just never really pan out because they don't have the stuff that you can't teach. They don't have that. They don't have that in them. So that's why I'm just going to go with the guy who I can possibly coach up and, see where that takes me later down the road.
Definitely.
I'm just like, if I'm reading the question right, you said, would you either take a big game quarterback with inconsistent passer, with inconsistent passing, or would you take a quarterback with popular arm talent with lack of big game experience? That is the question, right?
Yeah, and I on the poll too as well. I put it depends. This is obviously there's always going to be a mixture when it comes to these things as well. So we're just talking about if you had to choose between a guy who heavily leaned to big game quarterback but inconsistent, or a popular quarterback that's known for his arm talent. So which one would you choose? So you was right.
Okay, cool. So listen to Montel. He was saying those are some of the things you can teach. Like if you have a quarterback who has big game experience, but lacks certain areas and arm talent, I feel like the same could be said for the quarterback with the popular arm talent but the lack of game experience, because it's exactly what it says, a lack of game experience. So basically, if you can get him to that situation to where the point where, he comes into the game, the quarterback, I'm saying, with the quarterback with the popular arm talent, he comes into the games, and let's say he comes in, has a good regular season, whatever, he gets to the playoffs and like he bombs it in the playoffs, like has a terrible game. What that is game experience. So now that he's been through that situation before, he can take that and learn from it, because you can apply, that to a lot of things, and like in life in general. Like you go through life and you go through certain things, and you only learn certain lessons through experience. So if I got a quarterback with that same arm talent and he got to that game and he saw what he did wrong, and he can go into the offseason and look into those certain things and correct it, then What you have is an experienced quarterback now who's been through that situation before and knows what he did wrong, and can make those certain adjustments. So if I wanted to, I feel like you can lean towards either way because they both are teachable things. No matter which side of the argument that you on, but I would lean towards more so the quarterback. Give me the quarterback with the tools, and we can deal with the bumps along the road because I don't know too many quarterbacks that haven't been through adversity. With bad games and coming back with a good game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what makes a good quarterback. That's what makes a great quarterback. Experience through the downs, through the ups and downs, and then showing that you can rise to the top.
All right. That's cool. I'm glad we got a couple of differences in here. But so let me go ahead and shoot off these list of guys that I scrapped up a couple of days ago. So for the recent big game QBs, this is recent. So nothing going back past 05 maybe, I don't know. But successful quarterbacks that was big game quarterbacks. You got Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Andrew Luck, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Andy Dalton, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz. The non-successful you had that was in the league. Obviously, we're talking about you had Manziel, RG, Tebow, and Mark Sanchez, and then you have popular arm quarterbacks. Derek Carr, obviously Joe Flacco, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. I put Carson Wentz in both these categories because technically he was a big game quarterback because they won like 3 straight championships when they was there, but he was also known for his arm, and he was in a FBS division where it wasn't like they questioned his competition as well. So I just put him in both categories. So you got Carson Wentz, and then I think I said Aaron Rodgers if I haven't said that already. And then the non-successful, Jared Goff, Blake Bortles, Brock Osweiler, and Montel mentioned it already, Jamarcus Russell. So as Ryan said, it doesn't. I mean, it technically matters who you choose, which side you choose, but you can still go with either or because you can build upon that. But at the same time, I'm picking the big game quarterbacks because first off, when you go to the league, you know what type of competition you're expecting. Everybody at their position is the elite of the elite. We're talking not necessarily. We're talking about athletically. That's who you're facing. The elite of the elite is way different. It's a way different game than college than it is in the NFL. So when you go to a guy with a popular arm quarterback who hasn't played in the bigger games, who hasn't faced that type of competition where each throw that you make, it will be a test. Like you have to make these throws and like they're counting on you to stand out and make your team better and have you increase your team's chances of winning. And you being one of the sole reasons for your team winning that game, it's kind of hard for you to really trust these guys. And I didn't trust Goff last year. I mentioned it. I even told some people on Twitter I didn't even think he was worth the first 2 round picks, and people thought I was crazy because of the fact that his arm talent spoke for itself. Well, what did he do when he played against Utah? When he played against USC, right. The bigger names in the Pac-12? He threw endless interceptions. He threw 5 against Utah by himself. So these are things where you look at a guy, you say, okay, well, he got the tools. But when he plays the top competition in his conference, he's not ready for it. And the same could be said for other people. Like Blake Bortles, I want to say he took UCF at one point. They were a ranked team with him. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But he wasn't really known for a guy who played the top competition. That's not him. That's not him, but he had the arm. He had the strong arm that everybody loved. But when you look at the guys that I named that were successful big game quarterbacks, they showed up in each season that they played in NCAA. They showed up each season, and they were Cam only had 1 year, and he still won a national title. He won a national title in 1 year. Jameis Winston won his first year, and he took his team to the playoffs the very next year. So. These are and Mariota, obviously, he took his team to a national championship. They lost. Come on. Andrew Luck. Oh no, I wasn't even talking shit, man. I'm just going through the list. Andrew Luck took his team to a BCS bowl game. Kirk Cousins took his team to a BCS bowl. I think they won the Rose Bowl 1 year.
They did.
Russell Wilson. He was a dog at Wisconsin. I think they won the Rose Bowl 1 year too. So Like I'm going, and Dak Prescott, he had his team. He had Mississippi State as the number one ranked team in the nation at one point.
Crazy.
So I'm just essentially saying, when you look at the big game quarterbacks, these are guys who are ready to ball in the NFL immediately. When you look at the popular arm quarterback, and which is why I wouldn't take them, they got the arm, but do they have the mentality that they can compete against the better people in the NFL who's going to challenge you on every throw and make sure that you know what you're doing when you step out there? These traits that the big game quarterbacks have is something that I think lacks in the popular arm. And obviously, it's not for everybody because I just named some successful ones to be fair. But coming out the draft, you don't really find much. You don't really find many of the successful guys that I named. That's just how I feel.
I agree, bro, 100%.
Yeah, man. You just can't teach it. Hey, I'm not gonna hold y'all, man. I don't know if y'all.
I know what you're going through. Yeah, I'm looking at the game too, bro. Looking at the game too, bro. But we got a show to do. I need you to put some input, man. While they showing the previews.
Man. I'm sorry, man.
Stop crying, boy.
It's cool, man. In all honesty, I do. I agree with both sides. Like you said, it's examples for both, but I'm looking for a guy who can come in immediately. Like you said, Ryan, sometimes you got to learn through experience. Well, sometimes as a coach, you don't have time to allow a quarterback
Most
to learn
definitely.
through experience. Yeah,
Most
sometimes
definitely.
as a coach in the NFL or GM in the NFL, you don't even have that time. So I'm looking for guys who can come in and make plays immediately, man, lead my team in a victory. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had to say in regards to
And here's the one thing though, Ryan, right quick, and I comment on this. You said, imagine if your team gets to the playoffs with that quarterback with the popular arm, bro. But how are they gonna get to the playoffs if he's struggling in the regular season?
I mean, but
You feel me?
I guess that they are considered big games in the regular season, but my mind just immediately went when I thought about big game, I just took it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's just how that went. But I agree that there are big games in the regular season too. That's off the top of my head. When I thought big game, I thought about playoffs.
Okay, all right, that's fair, man. So I guess since we ain't got no more comments on that, man, we'll go ahead and tell you the poll results, man. So over
I didn't
70
like
people.
those poll results, man. I think it was a lot of Cowboys fans on your Twitter page.
A lot of skewed results there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Eric and Nick have multiple Twitter accounts that they're not telling us about. But nah. So for the second question that I asked about the big game quarterback or the popular quarterback, big game quarterback won by a good margin. They won 50%. Big game quarterback people chose 24% arm talent, and 26% chose the depends option, incompetent, obviously. So a lot of people believe the big game quarterback probably they prefer coming out of college. That's who they'll take. So clearly, as you can tell, Ryan Big Timer chose the wrong side, the losing side. But
man.
But it's okay because we'll have more of these polls, man, and you have a chance to redeem yourself and argue on the right side. So with that being said, is there anything? First of all, I know, Montel, you're going through it. You might want to comment on the Wizards right quick, but is there anything that y'all two want to close out before we go ahead and shut down this episode? We get ready for the draft on Thursday.
I actually got something to say right fast. I was listening to Cooley and Kevin this morning, and I don't know if Ryan was on the show when I spoke about Joe Mixon being the best all-around back in the draft, but they did a breakdown on Joe Mixon, and Chris Cooley said he's the best back on the board. So that's just my analysis, and I got that confirmed by Cooley. So I'm watching.
You might want to since I didn't mean to cut you off, but you might want to go ahead and just speak on that for a quick second because I think that was the dry run. So I don't think people know what you said about Joe Mixon.
Okay, well that's crazy. Well, I did mention that I thought, and this was weeks ago before he ran his 4.4 at his pro day. I was high on Mixon, and you can ask more. I've been high on Mixon early, and now it's just coming to light about how good he is. And of course, I feel as though a lot of that was because of what happened his freshman year. But he's also another guy who's a great talent. He hasn't been in trouble since that situation. Man, if y'all get a chance to go watch Joe Mixon, great all around back. Do it all. There's nothing he can't do. nothing he can't do. So I think somebody's going to get a stud. I don't know if he falls out of the first round. They're talking about him possibly going to the first round now. Like, these weren't talks at first, but I just had to throw that out there that I was right about something. You know me, I drop knowledge.
Ryan, you got anything to say, bro?
Well, I appreciate that thought. I mean, Chris Cooley, I mean, I value his opinion for the most part sometimes, but I mean, that don't mean he always going to be right, even though I do think Joe Mixon is the best all-around back in this draft. But since we all talk about this draft coming up this Thursday, I just want everybody I just want everybody to be clued, and just in case you don't know, for those who do, we're just going to reiterate, this is the last time y'all going to hear me have to drop this plug. But the Tennessee Titans are selecting with the 5th and the 18th pick in the draft. Man. I just want y'all to stay tuned because it's going to be an eventful day. Y'all going to see me celebrate. For those who follow me on Twitter, y'all stay tuned. I'm going to lose my mind. We can get these players, man. It's a new season, man. Tighten up in 2017, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I'm about to say, Ryan on it, bro. He been plugging it ever since the dry runs and nobody could hear it. Been plugging it. But yeah, man. By the way, man. So for everybody that's listening, make sure y'all follow the Hogstyle. I said it already, but make sure y'all follow the Hogstyle because we're having a draft day party for the first round. We'll be at Penn Social Sports Tavern. Penn Quarter Sports Tavern. I think I didn't butchered it, but it's Penn Quarter Sports Tavern off of Indiana Avenue and the Archives Metro Navy Station. So we'll be out there for the first round of the draft Thursday night. So be sure to come out. Obviously have a good time. Watch the first round unfold. See who. I mean, even if you're not a Redskins fan, see who your team draft, obviously, and see who the Skins draft if you are a Skins fan. So make sure you guys come out there and have a good time and enjoy some drinks and some food, man. So, and also before we dip, obviously we didn't miss last week. We have a new schedule. I know you guys heard the It's Just Business show with Steve and Richard and the other host. His name is drawing a blank right now, and I apologize. But It's Just Business came out last week, so obviously you can tell our schedule. We're on every other week. So we will be back, not next week, but the week after for the off season. And obviously the episodes will increase after. So with that being said, I don't got nothing to say. The Wizards down here losing 11 late in the game. We're about to head back to DC, tied up at two apiece for the series in round one. I had a bad feeling about this game, but I'm not really sweating it.
Guns blazing, man.
Look, we started off strong to begin the series. 2-0, we did what we were supposed to do. We won at home, and then the Hawks obviously did what they were supposed to do. They won at home, so now it's down to best of 3, and we gotta.
Shouldn't be in the battle with the Hawks.
Hey, Hawks,
you know, they're a good coach team, man. I feel like they play a lot of good team ball, man. They don't have too many superstars, but they got a lot of players that's gonna fight. And as you can see,
they just a different team. Yeah, they just a different team on the road than it is at home. So
I just thought that this were a lot better than this, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought we could possibly compete with Cleveland. Now I see that no one can compete with Cleveland. So
I wouldn't necessarily get hell bent over this though,
bro. Cleveland
I wouldn't do it. I mean, that's probably true. But I mean, I never seen us taking 7 games with Cleveland. I mean, not taking 7 games, but taking it to 7, taking the series to 7 or 6. Well, possibly 6. We probably sneak a second game in, but I definitely didn't see us taking it to 7. A lot of people.
I don't want to see LeBron.
A lot of people got an inflated head, but I don't want to see him either the way we playing. But I mean, it is what it is. Like 2 games at home, both teams defended the home, so it's the best of 3 now. Somebody got still one on the road. That's what it is, bro. So I'm John Geek to see how this unfolds. I don't think we losing to the Hawks, honestly. And if we do, first off, I'll have Montel on suicide watch. I'll make sure he doesn't harm himself.
Suicide watch.
We gotta take care of a boy, man.
We wasn't gonna win no championship and that like that, so it don't matter.
Oh, so this is Montel trying to justify it, which is totally
understandable. The Warriors win the whole thing. We might as well just gift wrap it to them right now. They win the whole thing.
I hope not.
I mean, Oh, well, obviously you hope not. Why? Cause Lebanon, right?
LBJ, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know him, get acquainted.
Like I told y'all in the last
they might as well
episode, bro.
ship that trophy to Golden State right now. I'm let you know.
I don't want to hear that.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and end it there, man. So we'll go ahead and catch y'all in a couple weeks from now. Peace.
All right, shorty.
All right, shorty.